days, most innovation is fueled by connecting applications and people in new and interesting ways. And standards are a huge piece of that puzzle. Think about how much innovation HTTP sparked in the form of web interfaces and mobile apps. And SMTP lets people around the world exchange emails without regard for each user's client, device, or operating system. With IoT devices being connected to the internet at breakneck pace, more processes being automated every day, and the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning, the next step is to standardize the way applications and devices distribute and share information. Well, good news, such a standard exists. It's a wireline protocol called Advanced Message Queuing Protocol, or AMQP, and it was approved as an OASIS standard in 2012. We at Solace joined the AMQP working group back in 2009 and committed to add AMQP support to our products when the time was right. Our CTO, Sean McAllister, has a video explaining our history and involvement with AMQP. I'm pleased to announce that after several months of interoperability and beta testing, our products now support AMQP 1.0. So why now? Well, first, the cloud. Every company is migrating to the cloud, and many see it as a way of achieving the flexible, open infrastructure they've always dreamed of. Run workloads wherever they want and easily move them whenever their requirements, available technologies, or vendor offerings change, all without vendor lock-in. Using the AMQP standard to connect applications is the enabler of that freedom and will prevent you from being locked into a specific messaging implementation or cloud provider. Second, the amount of data being produced worldwide is going through the roof and needs to be disseminated to a wide variety of systems all in real time. For example, air traffic control agencies in the US and across Europe have started sharing real-time data that improves efficiency, safety, and passenger experience. Much of this communication is done via AMQP, which provided the key advantage of seamless integration since all the systems spoke the same language. Additionally, the use of the AMQP standard let each organization pick the vendor which best met their needs while enabling communication across each country's air management system. If the messaging technology you use to connect a given application isn't meeting your needs anymore, or the vendor isn't providing the support that you need and the technology doesn't use a standard protocol, switching to a new messaging technology usually entails recoding your application to support the new API and retesting it to ensure operational readiness. It's a tricky and time-consuming process. Well, seeing is believing, so what I'm going to show you next is how easy it is to migrate applications that make use of the AMQP standard messaging protocol. For this demo, I've set up a couple of test applications that use the open source Apache Cupid AMQP 1.0 libraries to send and receive events. As you can see, this use case is comprised of a publisher application and a subscriber, both built as runnable jars. The only argument the applications will take in is the URL address to the AMQP broker, which is initially an ActiveMQ implementation running as a virtual machine on my laptop. Pretty simple, right? So let's see it in action. The publisher is publishing a message every second and the consumer is receiving them. So now let's say you want to move to another vendor or product. Since we chose an API that uses AMQP 1.0, we can easily switch to any messaging product that supports it without changing your application. So we'll now start up the AMQP 1.0 compliant Solace Virtual Message Router and simply change the endpoint information for the publisher and subscriber application. Hopefully you notice that because AMQP is a wireline protocol, there are no libraries to change or vendor add-ons to lock you in. For those of us who have migrated large enterprises using JMS from one vendor to another, the work of changing libraries in every application is a major pain point and can be avoided entirely by using AMQP. In the real world, new use cases are always being developed and sometimes the existing messaging implementation may not support them. An example of this would be to support newly developed IoT applications, all while still supporting existing enterprise applications using AMQP. Luckily, there are open standards that help with the IoT use case, such as MQTT. So let's see what it looks like to have an application consume those same hello world messages we published using AMQP, but this time using the PAHO library for MQTT. Because Solace supports all the leading standards, you can meet all of your messaging needs with a single platform that handles traditional messaging with JMS or AMQP,
IoT with MQTT, and mobile applications with REST or even WebSockets.
Between migration to the increasingly virtual, distributed, flexible cloud and the increasing number and diversity of connected systems in the world, the need for a standard protocol for communications between IT systems has never been greater. AMQP is just what the market needs, and we're proud to be a part of its adoption through support in our product and the development of an open source API for .NET Message Service. We'll have more on that later. But in the meantime, I encourage you all to make use of AMQP and experience the benefits of utilizing an open standard wireline protocol. We at Solace are excited to see how AMQP will spark innovation just as HTTP did for the web. If you or your organization have questions about using or migrating to AMQP, please contact us. Thank you.